This episode has been brought to you by Subject to Change Customs. Choose Subject to Change for all your custom apparel and promotional product needs. Follow them on all social media at S2C LLC and get your 4 times dope merch on their website. That's www.shops2c.com.
Yeah, we in the building. 4 times dope. Yeah, we known to get it live, man. 4 times dope. New level, keep it high, yeah. 4 times dope. Mic check, now we on it, we live.
Easy. I've been on the phone for like the last 45 minutes. So I got I think I told you, Kwame, but I got 2 more gigs. January, I got to fly. I'm coming down tomorrow, man. So I might come through and check you out. But I got to give a
Okay.
critical race theory seminar at State, and then I got to do one at the public library in Wilson.
All in one day?
Well, no. The one I got one this Friday at NC State, and then I got one in 2 weeks in Wilson. Then I got one in December in Wilson. But I just got off the phone with people. Got off the phone with the people from State.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to come through, Jamie, because I want to if you got any more shirts, man, if you got some on hand, I want to come through and grab a couple of them. So
No, I got prints. I just got to order shirts. So you remember what sizes I can get some ordered and have them ready for you.
okay, I take you the sizes tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take you. Everybody good? Shot with Kwame, y'all good, man?
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
good, my brother. We are
Yeah.
good. Jamie, did Jeff come through yet? Because I talked to him yesterday. He said he was trying to
No,
get
Jeff ain't came through. I saw he changed his profile picture though. Word up.
through.
Go mom on that. Go mom. I'm like, yo, what's up, Jeff? My man.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I saw it today myself.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's a good pick. But yeah, man. Hey, Jamie, like you've been busy the last couple of weeks, man. I see the touch and sneakers
That's an
ball,
understatement.
and then I saw you the 40 for 40, man. So what's that?
Yeah. So a lot has been going on this summer. I had to figure out how to do this shit again. I done forgot all about how to. I done damn broke my light. All kind of left my computer at home. I left my computer at the office, so now I'm on my cell phone. But a lot has been happening. We're looking to buy a car. That's what we're doing right now. So a lot has happened. One, we had the 40 to 40. Faith was one of the recipients of her class of 2020. They had the thing this year, 2021. Then we got the sneaker ball, ninth one, the sneaker ball, the Black Jedi Zulus. That was the dope at Nashville at Duke. And now we're trying to buy this Mercedes S550. Hopefully we knock it down tomorrow.
All right.
Good
Okay,
stuff.
Ballers, I see you. I see
Yeah,
you.
Good
Power
stuff.
couple.
Yes.
Power
Yeah.
couple.
Right,
Yeah.
and congrats to Faith on that win.
Yeah, shout out to Faith. Congrats to
Hey, let me
her.
understand. So you said that they combined the 2020 and 2021s together? Or?
No. So it's every 2 years. So the first class was 2012, right?
Mhm.
And they are the 2020 class. And then they just had their event 2021. So 2022 is going to come out this time next year. So this is one of those, just like the Olympics. The Olympics were held in 2021, but they say 2020.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
But this is the fifth class or the fifth class, whatever the math is.
Gotcha.
Do you sit on the board? Are you on the committee?
I was on the committee. I was the first four. It's me, Renee Clark, David Hart, we call D Hart, and Fred Raven. So it's us four. We all started, and we're all rolled off with the exception of G Hart. And I imagine he might roll off this year, but pretty much all the people who are on the board are previous 40 under 40 recipients.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And they raised $30,000, y'all. So we got to start talking that conversation about cash and money being raised at the university. We have not been talking about money.
Right.
We've never talked about money as an association or as an alumni group, have we?
Right.
We have not.
No, we talk about alumni association, but we ain't talk about that money part though.
Money. That'll shut a lot of motherfuckers up. Money.
Well, that
Right.
definitely
They
does.
raised $30K. They'll start listening to you. They'll be like, excuse me, you say what now?
Right, exactly.
Well, I got a question. We're talking about money, yo. When we were playing, I know it's a month ago now, but when we play Alcorn State, what's going on with our band, man? Why our band like a junior high school band?
What do you mean?
Yeah, that joke was crazy, man.
You mean size of it?
Yeah,
Huh?
Size
wise.
and sound.
What?
And sound,
There's
man.
a couple ways you could approach this. One is COVID. You could always start at COVID, but we were already a smaller band to begin with. I don't think our band has recovered since Jerome Reed left, which was the last band director. And the new band director, I don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying. I give him that. They got new uniforms and they look good. They just don't have numbers.
Where's he from?
Norfolk State. He's a Norfolk State grad. So,
well, that's some good history, band history. I think he can, he bring
the graduates appreciate him. I don't know in the band circle how that works, but I know that we just don't have the numbers.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he probably doing the best he can with what he's working with.
Right, that's
my comments or my questions coming from just not knowing anything. I'm just going as a spectator, looking out there.
If you look at us on TV, you be like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, "All right, here we go." And then I'm hearing Alcorn State over there looking like 300 men over there coming through. I mean, it was like crazy. It was a glaring difference. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like as far as like the presentation and the sound, you know what I mean, whatever and stuff. So I don't even know stuff like that normally, but that was kind of very noticeable.
Right.
I mean, we still won the game, so that's what counts.
That's what counts.
We got a W. We got
the dub. First dub of the season.
Yeah.
Week 0.
Right.
Kashar, what's going on with you, man? You catch us up. What's going on?
Oh boy. Traveling. That was my summer. Mm-hmm. We was on a roll. We was definitely trying to make up for last summer. Where we go? Chicago, Savannah. Where else we go? I feel like I'm missing something. We was in North Carolina a couple times.
Yep.
Jamaica.
Mm.
Yeah, we was just on the move, just trying to get in. Oh, Hampton. Went to Hampton to the beach.
Right.
So yeah, that was what we was doing, and it kind of like settled down. Like the Alcorn State game in Atlanta, that was our last big hoorah, for the summer. Then the girls had to go back to school. That kind of shut everything down as far as the traveling goes. But outside of that, we just closed on a house today. So
that's what's up.
That is
way to go, excellent family. Yes.
Yeah, that is done. Thank God. So I'm happy about that.
That's what's up. We're gonna cook out over that joint soon too.
Definitely.
Broadcasting live.
Definitely. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Like I said, the traveling, kids in school, the house, just trying to navigate through these COVID streets, man, like everybody else. Doing the best we can.
Right.
And man, you was out the West Coast, weren't you, bro?
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot. Man, I've been so busy. I went out there. As a matter of fact, I FaceTimed you guys. I think when I was out, right? I was driving from.
You did.
Yeah, I was coming from Oakland. I drove from Oakland to LA, like 6.5 hours, man. Just open road. But I went out there for business, but I stayed out there for like damn near 2.5 weeks, man. It was business first, finishing up my I had to speak at UC Berkeley. Then I had what I had, I think I told you. The documentary that's being made. I finished up that part. Mm-hmm. Then everything else was on go time. A friend of mine, Valicia Butterfield, who's from Wilson. She's yeah, man. She is the she has this new job as the diversity and inclusion head over the Grammy Awards.
Mm.
So she's out there. I got some other folks out there. My man Jamal. Anyway, so it was just cool to kind of get out there, and some folks I didn't get a chance to get up with, but I did reach out to them or whatever. Then after that,
like AJ.
Right. Came back from Cali, and I was just on. I did some more writing. I wrote for like a month and a half, trying to get through this book. And let me tell you guys something. This was dope, man. So, one of the editors from Duke University's press reached out to me about publishing this book here. So this is going. Well, I already knew I'm going to go with a major publisher, but that's huge for Duke University press to reach out. So I'm excited about that. That's a blessing. I did some what else? Did some more work. Visited my mom. Was in Cali. Did some stuff in VA, and I went ahead and got me another whip. Jamie, I feel your pain on that.
Hold
But
up. What kind of whip you get?
ah, got me a I got me a Maserati.
What? Okay.
Well, I had
Maserati, man.
Here's the thing. I had one.
Maserati, man.
Ah! Listen, I'm still pushing that workhorse though. I'm still pushing that workhorse. That Denali. I'm gonna put 600,000 on that truck.
If it go now.
Yeah, as long as that transmission. And yeah, but other than that, folks, just trying to navigate through these COVID streets, man. We are not out of this thing. I think a lot of folks, I think some people are just like, man, you know what? I'm gonna roll the dice. You know what I'm saying? But we're definitely not out of it, man, with all these variants and stuff like that. And just trying to stay safe as possible because I see my mom a lot. My mom just was up here hanging out with us. But yeah, just staying safe, man. And I'm glad everybody's, you guys are good too. Your families are good too. So.
All right. Kwame, what about you? How's your summer?
It's been low key, man. It's mostly family. I mean, like a couple road trips. Nothing too serious. Like Hampton, to the beach, with y'all family. I met y'all down there. Philadelphia, went to the zoo. I mean, it just all been very not too road trips, but little. That's it. And outside of that, first time I flew was Atlanta since the whole COVID thing, and the flight spread wasn't that bad. It just once we got into Atlanta, that just was like the Wild West. I was like, but nobody had a mask on. Like,
nah, bro.
And that's what I was going to ask you guys, Kwame, not to cut you off, but you can double back. But I was going to ask you guys because obviously I had back out of the game because of business. But how was the atmosphere at the game, Kwame? Like at what point did the mask really come off?
I mean, it was just. I'm talking about even prior,
but never on.
I'm talking about prior to the game, man. Like even getting there, like me and my sister we went to a restaurant. I swear we like the only we was the only people I swear that I think that didn't have a mask on. Like we had one that had masks on, the workers had masks on. It was a Papados, yeah. The whole damn staff. I mean, the whole bar, the whole restaurant, no one had a mask on. It was crazy. Like people was chilling like there was nothing going on out here. Right. And I say like at the game, I'll say like maybe 60% probably didn't have masks on, maybe 40. And I might be generous. I don't know for Sarah and Jamie might be right. But I was like, you niggas are tripping out here, man.
Well, I heard Atlanta anyway was the clubs were packed and parties were happening. And damn.
Well, I think it's kind of like shocking when you're at one location, you go to a whole different location, you can see people moving differently.
Right.
And you may see it on TV, you hear about it, but you seen this John, like, yo, they are freaking nuts. But outside that, it's been cool, man. It's been real low key, man.
I feel you,
real low key, man.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good to know. Gentlemen, since we're all caught up, I'd like to get into this episode of season 3, episode 1 of the 4x Dope podcast. Just for formalities, I'm your boy JP. They call me Jamie. That's my boy Kwame. That's my other homeboy Kasharo, and that's my boy Jermaine.
What's up, y'all?
We're gonna get started with the first topic of conversation, and I want you guys to marinate on this. Think about it. Who are some musical artists that deserve their flowers? Now, this could be rap, of course. Well, excuse me, hip hop. It could be R&B. It could be pop, or it could be country, gospel. You name it. But let's see, Kwame. What or who is a musical artist that deserves their flowers that we may not know about?
I mean, this person, I'm thinking. Well, who comes to mind right off the head is somebody that everybody probably definitely gives a props to, but compared to like the mega stars, right? And he's a mega star too, and it's somebody kind of before our time, but but still during our time too. Is I don't think Stevie Wonder get like the props that he deserved to get. Like I know everybody think he's great, but I think as far as a songwriter, and you definitely hear his lyrics and been part of the industry for what, over 6 decades, if not more, or probably like 6 decades at least.
We're probably at 70 right now, to be sincere, because
He
think
started
about it. It's 20 years ago was 2000.
Yeah.
He started when he was little Stevie Wonder.
Little
So
Stevie,
that was
yeah.
1960 something. So whatever that math is.
Yeah. I know him in the ballpark, you know what I'm saying? So you know, but I think people kind of sleep on Steve compared to some of those, you know, compared to Michael Jackson's and of course Prince, whatever.
Yeah.
And of course it might be top tier. But I think that like, I don't know.
Well, you're right. Stevie peaked in 77 because he had, I could be wrong with my dates, but I know he had 2 albums that were back to back, or 3 albums that won like album of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that research is, he had won album of the year 3 years or 2, and then left off and came back and won the 3rd one. And then somebody had, the reason why this is common is because somebody had made a quote like, "Thank God Stevie didn't put out an album this year. Should have put an album out the next year and won it the 3rd time." I mean, you know, he's been writing since he was a baby.
Yeah, it might be like, I think the album you're talking about is the Songs of the Keys of Life. That might be the one. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think that's the one you might be referring to. Like, Isn't She Lovely? You know, that's on that album and stuff like that. And Knocks Me Off My Feet. So that might be like the one you're referring to, or one of the ones you're referring to. But I'm talking about even as a writer, man. He just be writing people's songs and everything. Like, people don't really respect it as they should.
Yeah, I think there's some validity to that. Definitely don't.
Validity? Hell
yeah. Yeah. I mean, in terms of obviously he's this mega star, but in terms of like certain conversations musically, like, you know, those instruments were being played, right? There was no sampling and stuff like that, but his music was always distinctive too. Like, you knew Stevie Wonder's music, you know, when you heard it. So yeah.
I just definitely want to give him his flowers. I know a lot of people may do, but I just feel like it's not at the level it should be.
I would like to pose a question to that. Okay. Do you think him being a revolutionary to the black people really like dimmed his light to the white folk? Because that's what we're essentially saying, that, you know, because we all know Stevie Wonder as a culture. But when you say megastar, hell, it's just because because white people don't know. That's a fraud.
Well, Jamie, you know what, Jamie, you're absolutely right. But if that's the case, then we would have to say the same thing about James Brown, right? But white folks love James.
That's what happened.
Well, yeah. So he was like the people's champ, right? He was like the Ali of music. So, I think that's right, though. I think you're right. Anytime you start making songs about consciousness and freeing your folks, that's gonna ruffle some feathers, man.
It's gonna work for all the feathers,
right?
Yeah. It does. What do you? Who do you think, Kasharo, music artist that deserves their flowers?
You know, it's so hard for me, actually. But the first person that comes to mind is Tamia.
Tamia,
okay.
Tamia, I think she got a beautiful voice. I think she's written for some good people. People don't know that she's a writer. She's writing some hits for some people. Right. I just don't think that she get the. I don't know. Maybe it could be PR. I don't know. I just don't think she get the. I don't know.
Well,
I think people just.
I'm with you.
I'm with you. You know,
but you ain't got no pressure. She has no pressure.
What you mean, no pressure?
It's Grant Hill's wife now.
That's why I say more people know her for that versus her.
Right.
You know that Grant Hill's mom was Hillary Clinton's roommate in college?
I heard something like that.
Yeah, I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
And his dad played for the Cowboys and won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Tamia got anything to worry about?
Well, she definitely ain't got nothing to worry about. She definitely don't.
But lots of people, no like, if you had that machine behind you, like, it's not. I mean, it's not even just like it's anybody. Like, if you had that machine behind you, that label behind you, you know, and you could be the most talented person in the world. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, it's not even going to matter. You see people who you hear of who probably really can't sing live, can't play instruments like Jermaine had mentioned earlier, or whatever and stuff. But because they have a certain look, they got the right people behind them and stuff. They get pushed.
It's a machine.
But that's tricky too, though, because I think a lot of people can have the machine and still like. I do think she didn't have the machine behind her, but I feel like when you go with people, you got Quincy Jones bringing you into the game, you got Babyface writing for you, like at all the right tools and people in place to make you.
I got it for you, dog.
But
I got it for you.
Look at a lot of people came off a Bad Boy. Like they had the machine, but a lot of them didn't get that.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, Casaro. I'm gonna ask you this question.
What?
It's her being Grant Hill's wife, because you don't want anybody to know that she's unavailable as far as fans. So to me, the listener, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to listen to her because she's married. So I'm asking you, is that a thing where people's like, you don't want to that Michael Jackson had a girlfriend? You just want to think that you could be with him.
I think that might be some truth, because sometimes the people kind of like already know something about you. That's all they gonna think and see. Right. So it's kind of like they can't detach.
I can't detach her. If she's not singing to me, she's singing to Grant. So you might as well just sing to him. Yeah. I don't want to hear it.
I think a lot of times that happens, but I think a lot of times when people like that, when you got that mysterious factor, sometimes people want to. Like, let me check this person out.
Like Total, you don't know them girls. They one of them might date you. You never know.
But case in point, look at God rest her soul. Look at Aaliyah. I think Aaliyah has definitely left her mark, but I don't think even before she passed, I think she could have been bigger than what she was, and I don't think she really got her just due. I think she was. I definitely think she was on her way.
She was still very young.
But I don't think she got her just due.
No.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, I kind of compare the Aaliyah comparison almost like, and not that they sounded like or look alike or the style is like, but it's almost like when Rihanna came out at first, you know what I'm saying? And so you knew who Rihanna was. They was naming her the princess of R&B and all that. So this, behind basically,
nigga, I thought that was
that stuff too. But like I said, we got a chance to see Rihanna grow. We got a chance to see her, grow as an artist. We got a chance to grow her as a businesswoman. And now she's like, now she's like Queen Riri, you know what I mean? So like you said, Aaliyah's time got cut short. So we get a chance, but you can see the trajectory of that happening,
Yeah, it was definitely on the way. I mean, she was in a couple movies before she passed.
Yeah.
All right, Jermaine, what you got? Who was a musical artist that deserved their flowers?
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say AZ.
AZ put out what? Albums?
Way more than that. He just put out Do or Die 2, which is awesome. It's buzzing. Everybody's talking about it. But to be as like lyrically inclined as he is, and
that's a good one. That's
he is definitely like lyrically inclined, man. And just his whole ability to rhyme and tell stories and make it more tangible, man. Like, AZ, we got to give him to him, man. Yeah, I mean, he's put out a bunch of albums, but here's the thing, though. He's one. What Kwame just said. He was one of those artists who didn't go behind take door number 3, right? He talks about that a lot. He didn't have the machine. He went independent years ago. I think he was on a major label like 2 albums.
Had to be. He was with Nas.
Wasn't he on Def Jam when they did The Firm?
Well, he was with Nas, who was with I think it was Columbia at the time.
Okay.
But my point is, when he decided to go independent and not have the machine push to push him, he just kind of flew below radar. And it's funny because a couple years ago, I did a book signing in Philly at this spot called Black and Nobel, and he actually was before me. He cool guy too, really cool dude, man. But yeah, AZ, man, we gotta give him his flowers, man. Dope. He's nice.
AZ.
Shout out to AZ.
Right.
Okay. J-Dog, what about you?
So listen, y'all know it's not even up for debate. It's my boy Fonte Coleman.
right.
Fonte is the everyday musician's workhorse. He's a singer, he's a writer, rapper, producer.
Right.
And don't forget he's an actor too.
He's also an actor. He started as an actor. He featured in The Color Purple as a child. Look that up.
Right.
But Fonte Coleman has been everybody's favorite rapper or favorite singer kind of thing, which has been crazy to me. Like Drake is like, nah, I look at Fontaine. It's like, well, nigga, put him on. Well, not that he needs to be quote unquote put on, but I get it. I'm gonna tell you why. Here's the reason why they haven't been quote unquote put on is because they did it themselves, and that comes with what I mean by that is that whole Justice League era in the early 2000s didn't have anybody. They didn't need any help. They had the music in house. They had the beats in house. They had the rap. Everything was in house in Durham of all places.
That's that Soldier Boy theory, right?
Mm-hmm. They came out of nowhere, and it was right when the internet started. So they got their jump off of OK Player, and the music was traded, and people started liking it just off of the sound of it, not what they look like.
Right.
So all these artists that started in the mid 2000s was looking to Fontaine, Knife, and Pooh for their style. I mean, even Kanye. I was there. I went to see Little Brother and perform at Virginia Tech. It was 2004. I went up there with Maurice, one of the brothers, Maurice Spencer. So we drove up there, and Kanye was Kanye at the time. He was a dick. He had performed a rhyme on one of their songs. He was supposed to perform an original rhyme.
Right.
But he performed a rhyme he already written. So basically, he gave him some old shit.
Right.
And we at the show. Little Brother goes on. CeeLo is next. And then Kanye's supposed to come. Kanye was an hour late. He comes, he performs, and I'm on the, say, left side of the stage. Kanye's performing, and then the dressing room's on the right side of the stage. And as soon as the show is over, Kanye or Little Brother's watching the show, and they walked into their dressing room. Kanye walks behind them into the dressing room. They sit down, look at each other, and then Little Brother, all three of them bounce on that nigga and Big Doe. They all left, except it was only people in the room was me, Maurice, and Kanye West looking at each other. They really don't fuck with that nigga. And he looked at us, we looked at him, and then he left. The point I'm making is that they were always there, and you're waiting for him to take over the top. I mean, Knife is certainly where he's supposed to be.
Right.
You would want to see Fontaine as a lyricist, certainly like be at the top of his game, but you know, I mean, Life of the Party, if you listen to that song, it's like, look, I'm the greatest rapper in your apartment complex.
Right.
I totally understand it. Do you want to certainly get on, or would you just like to be your opening act for year after year after year?
Right.
Relevant. But you know, my boy deserves his flowers now. I mean, I'm his biggest fan because I was there when we was kids. That boy could rap. When that boy closed his eyes.
Right.
That shit. Jermaine, when that boy closed his eyes, he freestyle.
Right. Hey, look, I remember we used to do that. We used to be in the huddle. We played ball. I think he played ball essentially like a year or two.
He played fullback.
Yeah, he used to be in the huddle, closing his eyes, think about the plays in his head and shit. I ran into Kane, and I never forget in Northgate Mall. This is shit. This might have been around
This could have been yesterday.
Right.
Could have been early today.
This was like in
the Kane boy.
Kane and I was talking to Kane. You know, we was chopping it up about old school music and shit. And I told him Fontaine and I, you know, we graduated from Central. Yo, he gave them mad props. Yo, he was like they can go. You know what I'm saying? And just talking about how lyrical and stuff they are. But salute to Fontaine, Knife, and Pooh, man, all of them.
We know something so funny. I mean, the fact that like they got a lot of respect in the industry at all. Like I mean, of course, you know, they have like Questlove always talk about them and stuff. I mean, you know, Rory and Maul talk about them all the time on their show, whatever and stuff.
Right.
So they had like relations with people in the industry, whatever and stuff. And
they were heavily respected. It's just that the industry folk, I mean, they had a big to do with BET not playing that video, the Lebanon video. And it's like, why won't you play it? Because they were too intelligent. They weren't talking about, you know, bullshit. They just talking about, you know, rap.
Right.
Yeah. Showing their skills.
I agree, man. I've been hearing them all.
But Jamie, that goes to the point, man. Like that, the whole rap hip hop thing has been like stripped and repackaged and given back to us, yo, with no substance at all.
None. Especially now, these kids ain't talking about shit.
That's true.
Nothing at all.
Good God Almighty, boy.
That's
say
true.
we just vibing. I'm like, vibing? That mean that you ain't got no words to it. They just die.
Nigga, tell me a story.
Right. Something with some substance. But yeah.
Good God.
Speaking of kids, so something I've been thinking about, you know, not daily, but enough, especially since I have kids and now I have a preteen. When do y'all feel like, in y'all opinion, is the best time to have the conversation about sex with your kids? And is their age is too early to start having that conversation? Like, what do you think, Jamie?
I think the number is 12. That's right before teen. And they're conscious at about 10, but it's still very naive at 10. 11, they get into it. They see things change. I think their bodies change at around 12. Even boys and all girls and boys, their bodies flips at 12.
Right.
So I think that's the number. And I imagine you talk to a girl certainly earlier than that about her body and how to clean her body. But with a boy, hey man, you need to wipe your ass, you nasty some gun. But I think the question is, are they learning about sex too early?
Too early.
Yes, it's too available. It's too available. One of my friends saying that her son had found out if you type boobs into that phone, it's over. Just the word boobs, it's a wrap. It's all kitty everything.
Right.
And he was in the bathroom for quite some time, and he just like, "What you doing in that shower?" He was like, he had found himself.
Get to know himself. Exactly.
He got to know himself at an early age. And it's like,
very well.
Y'all remember we had to sit around and watch that shit together?
In a huddle.
In a huddle. Yes. Rewind that part.
Right. Real talk.
Whole different game. Just adjusting your fingertips now.
Right.
It's
literally
readily available.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everywhere.
What you think, Jermaine?
Man,
they learn it too early, and what's a good time?
Well, to the early part, like the timing. I think, to answer your question, yes, I think they are learning too early. But the problem with that is, for me, the problem is that like the tutelage, like the teaching of it, it's not coming from parents too early. It's coming from society. It's coming from the World Wide Web, right? You can, like Jamie said, everything's at your fingertips. I don't care how old you are, it's at your fingertips. And that's the problem. Anytime I think anytime at a young age, when we, in terms of like grown-up experiences, when we get these things from other sources outside of our parents, I think at that point it becomes more tempting, right? You become more rebellious and trying to like figure it out. But something like that, I think honestly, me personally, I think around 13 is when, if I had children, is when I would really, like early 13, like nigga, when you turn 13, you sitting down, right? Because I think at that point, think about it. I think around 5th grade is when you really start to distinguishing what's attractive to you.
Right.
Girls that are pretty to you, right? For me anyway. And then around
how old? You said 13?
No. Around 5th grade.
5th grade.
Whatever number that is.
Yeah, 10 years old. You start to kind of figure out what's attractive to you, what you're attracted to. And then, going into middle school, more folks coming out the county. You see more girls, coming into the counties or whatever. And you start to kind of distinguish at that point, right? 6th, 7th, 8th grade. By 9th grade, you know exactly kind of like you're trailing what you want. And I'm saying all this to say, at 13, I think at least you understand what's attractive to you. For a little girl, cute, and if they're like athletes, or if they're like the nerd boys, or the guys who dress, and the guys coming from the hood, like everybody's distinguished at that point, right?
Right.
So
already who you are by that time.
Right. So I think 13 is a good age to talk about it because it's more digestible, right? It won't be regurgitated in a manner where it's like, ew, or it's more like acceptable, even though it's immature. Now, the other question was what? You said
what age and how early?
Oh, so
what's too early?
Yeah. Well, now too early, to me, I think, when you talking about like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, but that's when boys, that's when boys are curious about boobies, and you having these conversations at the lunch table about boobies and stuff like that, and then you know what I mean, and then you go home and try to find that stuff. So, but as a parent, Kisharo and Kwame, like, and you too, Jamie, like, but how do you stop that earliness? How do you stop them from having access
No, just give information. You can't stop that.
You
What you
can't
don't do
stop
is stop.
anything. Yeah,
Right.
you could take devices, you can put blockers up and all that, but they still going out in this world. They're going to school every day, so other
Right.
kids are still going to
Right.
tell them things. They're going to hear about things. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I don't think, me personally, I don't think there's a too early of an age. I think it might be case by case, because if my kids came home, like my youngest is 8, if she came home today and told me she heard something about what, I don't know, what does being hard mean, or if somebody said like
Right.
nipples, whatever it is, she said something I don't think she would know right now. That's when I think we need to start having a conversation. It might not be a deep conversation, but we're gonna have to start
Right.
talking about some things, because I don't want her mind wondering, and I don't want her to go ask nobody else, and then they telling her something that we wouldn't have told her, and then her mind all misconstrued about what it really is. You know, because everybody teach differently.
But Kasharo, so that's different. That's another question in itself. What age is a good age to cater to their curiosity? Because at that point, you're just, they're curious and they want to know. I think that's right. But the other thing is too, I won't say this too. Two things now, and I'll get out the way. Like you said, we can never stop it. But if you think about it, cartoons are laced with sexual connotations now. Everything is about sex. Sex is $1 billion business, right? It's funny because sex
is a $1 trillion business.
Well, trillion. Yeah. Sex and death are like the money makers, right?
But it is.
But it's everywhere in the music, from everything, and then we can go even further when you talk about sexual orientation and how it's forced down our throats to be sexual now, right? I couldn't imagine now being 13 or 14 when it's forced down your throat to be fluid or trans and
yeah, so much. Yeah.
And it's almost like they're putting you in the corner, like you need to accept this. But anyway, but yeah, that's a good question, though, Kasharo.
Yeah, but Kwame, before you go, I was gonna say too. I was thinking like I think you just said about the music we listen to and stuff like that. I think you can't take it away from them, because, like, for example, when WAP first came out, we did Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, like, people was going crazy, and Tawana was just like, I don't want Addie to listen to that song, but she said it after the fact. Like, she said it because the song came on the radio, and Addie knew them song word for word. She knew what she was saying, but she knew she could spit that around. Like, she sounded like Megan Thee Stallion. She was spitting it so hard, and she was like, I don't want her listening to that. I was like, we can't block her from doing it. She's gonna hear it. You know what I'm saying? She just needs to know better what she needs to say and not say. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
it's one of those things where, like with us, I think our parents, even though in order for us to see certain things, we had to get this big VHS tape, put the tape in, and then you have to you had to monitor the tape and VCR. But my point is, I think it comes to right as a parent where you just have to trust their judgment. You have to trust your parenting skills and the way you raise them, and be confident enough to say, hey, when they leave out, I
did my best.
Right.
Right. Kwame, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch to that question, but I think that
it's definitely loaded.
Yeah, definitely very loaded. The gun is loaded, but I think that it depends, like I said, on your child's maturity, and what they can and can't handle, but also it's how you present it to them too as well. So how much you want to feed your child as far as information is, as a parent, is probably the best way to deal with it. Like I said, but like I said, it's assets, it's time, and everything else. So like I said, we were learning. I know I was knowing some of this stuff real young. I didn't realize at the time, but I remember hearing stuff the second, third grade, hearing stuff like,
of course.
I went to school, I walked to school. When I saw him play, that's all I needed to know. Like the older kids your age, and stuff like that. And they saying certain stuff, and people lying about what they doing. We might not know all the details and all that, but we know what it was.
Humping, dry humping, and all that.
Yeah,
man, tongue kissing was a thing, bro. Tongue kissing,
you know what I'm saying? All that was happening in the young. So and they may not be actually doing the deed or nothing, but you knew about what it was, you know what I mean? And you had enough comments to not say it around around adults, hopefully. But the biggest thing, like you see, I already touched on it earlier, is the ass is way different than it was back when we were growing up. You know what I'm saying? It's like this on the tip of your tongue. If your kid got a phone, most kids got phones now, even at 8, 9 years old.
Right.
You put a lock on it, whatever. But like Jamie said, you type boobs, you don't have to even be like that.
You can type
D.O.P.E. You ain't gotta be explicit.
Split second, you might not even be there, and it's something gonna pop up, and you get that one click, and it go down, down that rabbit hole right there. So there's a lot of different things that you just can't control, but it's almost teaching your kid what's appropriate, and those type of things in regards to doing it. But if you had it, like you said, like age, if I had to like just categorize the age, probably like 4th, 5th grade, when that age, probably 5th, like Jermaine has said.
Yeah.
And because you right before you about to go to that middle school, when that middle school open up, boy, you got the 6th graders and you got the 8th graders, and they look a whole lot different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
6th graders, some of them even it was developed, but like the difference between the 8th graders just based off the females alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to prepare your kid when they get in that middle school age about what's right and all the changes they're gonna be dealing with in their body.
Right.
So. And just about, I ain't say being safe, but I guess being safe too. Hopefully not doing anything that early, but you got to drop knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You don't. You said that one girl in your school was pregnant like at a real young age. You said the story earlier.
Yeah, I had one that was pregnant we were in the 5th.
See?
No, we were in the 6th. She was in the 7th.
I had one in the 6th.
See?
Pregnant by the boy in the 6th in our class.
Yeah, I had one in the 6th. We were in the 6th, going to the 7th. I never forget that. Remember her face and name and everything. And she I think she was 6th grade, 12, 13 years old, man, and had it.
Yeah, had it. Yeah. That child now has a child. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm saying, that happens. You know what I mean? And if as a parent, you don't want that. You don't want that to be the case. If it's a female or if you got a son who got some other little girl pregnant, like you don't want to be like in that situation if you can help it, so
it's true.
Whether you're paired and unpaired.
Right.
I'm saying so. But anyway, so we're talking about sex anyway, whatever and stuff. Like, we can keep this going on. No. But has there ever been a time, like Jermaine, like that you kind of felt like that you actually ruined a date, possibly, or even a sexual sex experience with somebody, a sex encounter, I would say, like
sexual encounter with her.
A lot of times we talk about, we'll say about what somebody else did to ruin the date. We don't, and they, and we talk about it in the past ourselves amongst our group, but like something that we did, we take ownership of something we did, not necessarily the best thing on a date, or actually, or opportunity missing, sexually, whatever. If you want to share.
Damn. I might lose my job talking about this.
You about to lose?
Okay, so you know what? Let me say it. Oh, okay, so yeah, both of them, yeah. So I don't know about you guys, right? So if I just say if I'm with somebody, a young lady, and I want to get busy or whatever, whatever. Mm-hmm. If she tells me no, then I take it literally, like, nah, I ain't feeling or whatever. Mm. So this happened to me. I don't know if this might have been my fault. Well, I guess it was my fault. So I was told like, nah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really feeling it. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But she said that, but that's not what she wanted. So it threw off the whole mood. She wanted me to go.
Threw it all the way off.
Right, it threw it off because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, yeah, no means no. I've always been like that, right? Like,
you should be.
You should.
I ain't into taking it ever. I've never been into it.
Not worth it.
Don't do it. Harder. How? I
ain't into strong arming like that. I just don't believe in it. But anyway, but yeah, she said no, man, and I don't know if it wasn't like I was tripping. I'm like, all right, whatever. But she was on, and it just ruined the whole night because when she came back and when we were talking and stuff, she just kind of like snapped, man, like snap, like for real. She got mad. I'm like, yo, like what happened? Like how we even get here? And it just made me not even want to just like touch her, man, or anything.
So what was she mad about? Because you didn't?
Yeah. She wanted me to like pursue her, like you know what I'm saying. In her mind is like I'm gonna keep, but I'm in my mind I'm like nah, like because the energy was no, like it was like the energy was no. So I just was like whatever, and but I sensed like the way she was moving and kind of like couldn't kind of be still. Like she was in the, in that mood. But if you tell me no, like she learned. She learned. I learned it that night. You tell me no, it's a wrap. I'm done. My mind is not on it.
Yeah, you moving on. You think you been watching
I
Netflix.
learned it that night. I learned, and as far as like, and there's been times too on dates where I might, I might have moved too fast, man. I might have, you know what I'm saying? We might have been out somewhere. And I might have touched her or something. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of the same chick. I think that somebody else it happened where.
Like, no, somebody else.
I got another person.
Yeah, we was in the movies, man, and it was in the movies, man. I was touching her, man. And actually, I think she got pissed because I fell asleep in the movies. But yeah, man. But anyway, but yeah, that's when I messed up.
That's the problem.
Took my story.
Right. Yeah, so that's it with me, man. I didn't pursue her after she said no, and it just threw the entire. By the time she came around, I was like, you know what? Hey, I don't even want it. I don't even
want it. No, thank you.
So.
Sorry, what about you, man?
Weird.
Only one I can think of. I'm sure there was more, but the first one that comes to mind right now is I guess if you want me and someone was on a break, if you will. Well, I call it that. It was a girl that I ain't gonna say her name, but anyway, at Central, and she was older. She had a car and everything. She drove, and I remember we was talking. I don't know how it happened, library, and just I don't know. But anyway, kind of found out she was from Greenville too, and I was in high school. Me and her brother was in the same grade. Like I never knew that this was one of his sisters. He had many, but I didn't know that was one of them.
Oh,
and so she was cool. Like we were chill. She I remember she took me to Applebee's. You know, Applebee's was our spot in Central. She took me to Applebee's.
Fine dining establishment.
Y'all know I'm not a big drinker. It don't take me to lose it. And
not at all.
I think she bought me like 2 shots or something. I don't even know what it was. Anyway, it was cool. I'm thinking I'm good. And so we went to the movies. Y'all remember Windsong was right across the street?
I think it was.
Across from South Square?
By South Square.
Yeah. I think it was one song.
That was, yeah. So we went there, went to a movie, and I was out. I don't even remember falling asleep, but I fell asleep. And I remember waking up, and there wasn't nobody in there. Like,
she left you in there?
She left me in there.
That's so rude.
No, I was like,
oh my God. I'm sorry.
That's some gangster shit, yo.
That's so
damn.
But so yeah, wasn't nobody in there. So I go outside, and the car was still there. So she sat in the car, and she waited. When I got the car, she laughed. She was laughing. She was like, "I can't believe you fell asleep in the movie." I just thought it was funny, so I just left you in there. I was like, "Word?" She was like, "Yeah." She was like, "But see, you messed it up. Like you had a chance to get some, but you messed it up now." So I'm
damn, she was turned off, Cheryl.
Yeah,
nigga was snoring up in damn movie theaters
because I couldn't handle my liquor.
Hey, Cheryl, but I ain't gonna lie, I fell asleep on the chick in the movie too. She was pissed. She kept nudging me. It was irritating. Because that movie sleep, and car sleep can get sleep, man.
It was. I don't even remember. That's why I say it was the drink. I was like, it knocked me out. I don't even remember. Somebody sat down. I was out. That was like the best sleep ever. But yeah, that was. I ruined the date and anything else that could have happened after that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything happened after that? Like a couple days later?
Did she take you home?
No, she brought me back to Chile. And it was cool. It was cool. Like we was talking and everything, but after that, it was like, dude, you messed it up. So it was just cool after that. Yeah, that was it.
Damn,
she lived off campus, so she's like 2 streets over from Chile.
She lived in a house?
Really?
She
That's
had
a boarding house.
Yeah, probably a boarding house, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I messed that up.
That is funny.
She got her piece drunk.
Yeah.
It didn't take much, y'all know that.
That's funny.
Jamie, what about you, man?
I just thought I had one, but I got one that's better. It really came to me. So, okay, y'all know how in dorms you can have 2 sets of people doing something that's okay.
Right.
Yes.
You doing your thing on your bed and somebody else doing their thing on your bed.
Okay. Right.
So the homie hooked me up with one of his friends from home. Homie being Jermaine Jones hooked me up with this junk from home. And I was on Darren's bed and Jermaine was on his bed with his girl. And me and this girl are going at it, right? And we're about to go to it. We're about to, get to know each other biblically. And she stopped me. She said, "What's my name?" And I had nothing for her. I forgot her name.
Oh man.
I had nothing. So we spent the rest of that night just being quiet, and she being mad at me.
Because you know her name.
She had to put a bra back on. She had to put a goddamn shirt back on. Pants, panties, all kinds of. We just laid in the bed.
I guess I did listen to Jermaine.
Yo, she had some self-respect about herself.
I'm like, it's too late for that. I mean, what's my name? She said, Jamie. I'm from Red Springs. I said, damn.
That's crazy.
That's a small little detail. I forgot. Wow. And still don't know the girl's name. She could walk up on me right now, and I'll be like, "Hey,
that's crazy."
I bet she know yours though. I bet she remember yours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she knows yours. Hey, Jamie, you know what? I thought you was going to it was a similar situation that happened, but I think you knew the name that time. But we ain't gotta get into that. But it was something very similar to that. And titties were involved in that situation too. So
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that.
Oh,
you better believe me, boy.
Jamie Patterson involved, definitely.
You better believe I was there for the titties. And I had them, I was with the thigh, and I'm like, yeah, it's about to go down. Nah,
she said,
over a name.
Damn, that's crazy.
Kwame?
Yeah, I'm bad people names too. Like people I just met, so I can understand.
I mean, I just met you, baby. Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? I can feel your pain.
I wasn't committed.
So I had like two things. The first one not really a date, but like I know this wasn't on a date, but I was going on out with this chick, and I was about to buy like a bottle of wine for a Thanksgiving or something I was going to, and so I ended up buying a bottle of wine, whatever and stuff, and so but I know when we got back to her house, whatever, she started kind of acting all like a little different, whatever and stuff. And I was like, what's up with her? So eventually she started hitting me like how she's tired and all that stuff like that and everything and all that. So I was like, all right. So I knew my cue, so I guess it's time for me to go ahead and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Later, I guess she felt that I bought a cheap bottle of wine and it turned her off. And you know what I'm saying? She's like, she's like, how can you? And this wasn't even for her. It was for somebody. It was like I was going to like a Thanksgiving dinner or something. I don't know. And she felt like I didn't invest enough money in the wine. So it kind of
hold up. The wine wasn't even for her.
That's what I meant.
No, she was with me. Like we was.
I know you,
but the wine is not for her.
It's not even for her.
Wow.
It wasn't even for her. You know.
Yeah.
But she wasn't going.
I have never.
Yeah, I caught me off guard when it came out later. I mean, I didn't find out. I didn't know the time. I just know it kind of like switched up whatever.
She gave you the social cue to leave.
Yeah, and then.
So who was that? Whitley from a different world? Like who the fuck? Like who was that?
I mean, that's how she was carrying me, yo, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever I.
And you just buying some wine to go to another house.
Yeah, to go to a Thanksgiving.
So she doesn't even know who the wine is for.
She don't know who it's for.
That's crazy.
It's not for her, and she don't know who it's for because she doesn't know you like that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we went a few days before that, but then all of a sudden when she told me that, like, yeah, I was like, yo, she was like, she's like, I thought even when you bought like the wine, like you could have put more money into the, until.
So do you remember what you bought, what you purchased? Or better, let me ask you this: was it a twist off or was it a? You gotta take a.
I can't remember what it was, but I mean, the bottle of wine was probably like a $10, $15 range wine.
Oh nah, bro, I'm buying the $2 bottle. It's called $2 Chuck.
Right.
I might get you a $3 bottle of wine.
Yeah, so I mean, apparently she thought I should have bought a higher class wine than what I did.
But during the time of purchasing, she never made a comment. She didn't make a comment, right?
She didn't. I mean, she was chilling, but I didn't know. Like at the time, it's hindsight. So I'm thinking everything was cool. You know what I mean? We get in the crib. You know what I'm saying? We was before that, it was fine. So
before that,
yeah, we were talking, laughing, joking, everything else, and then everything else. I guess she felt like it was a turnoff. I don't know. So I didn't know that.
Right.
I must know. Do you know what she is now?
Huh? Don't know what she's doing.
What she is now?
Yeah, I think she married now. She married and
wow,
a kid, I believe. Yeah.
Can you tell by the looks in her pictures and stuff? Is she upscale or I'm trying to, flesh
Right,
this out.
right.
Yeah, see how
Got
she
to know.
since she getting on you about a bottle of wine.
Right.
Like, what does her lifestyle look like?
No, she got a good job and everything.
Good for her.
She's an AKA.
Well, there we go then. You didn't see that. That's included in the
That's case by case, though.
Keep in mind, I know it's a lot of down AKAs, so
Right.
That's
That's case by case.
However, by and large, we all know there's a lot of unread or unseen text messages from the damn AKAs. So don't even front like it's all good. You didn't say that part. If you said she was somebody else, goddamn.
Yeah, I should have led with that, huh? So yeah,
you should have led with the AKA wild out on.
Yeah,
it felt better.
That's crazy though.
Yeah,
wow.
I guess a sexual encounter though, which once again hindsight always with me. So at time I was dealing with this I was dating a chick and stuff, and she had like a best friend who had like a key to her place, whatever. So we we're her house, whatever. And her best friend was coming from Greensboro, and so by the time we feel like, oh, we had time to kind of like do our thing with her before she get there. But so the time we end up trying, do our thing. Apparently, her friend had the key to get in the house. We in the back, whatever and stuff. And her friend walked in the room, as we getting it on, whatever and stuff. Well, actually, she's actually, gave me oral, whatever, like that. And
sloppy toppy.
Yeah. So then I'm
slow face.
I'm like, yo, trying to like pull her up and stuff because I'm thinking it's your friend, whatever and stuff, and everything. And so her friend kind of paused and looked, whatever and stuff too. Long story short, after we broke up, whatever, all the stuff came out, then she was saying that time it was planned for a friend to kind of to come there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, for the
you was about to be the. Oh wow! You was the. It was FMF.
But she said the way I responded, kind of like, yo, but I had no idea what was going on.
Poor Quan.
Yeah, you got set up. You got set up, bro.
He ain't back on him, dog.
Why she didn't tell you? Why she didn't tell you?
Hey, Jermaine, he didn't say, "Oh, hello, how are you today?"
part of it, I still question it because a part of it, I don't know, was one of those things where she, said it. I found this after the breakup, whatever. So I don't know what the things you're saying they're trying to get at me just to get under my skin, or was it really true or not?
No, we're not asking the right question, dog. Was the friend worth it?
Yeah, she was very good looking. She was very.
You should have tested that theory, baby. Seriously.
I'd call the friend up. Hello,
hey, for real, Jay, like, what's going on around here?
Yeah,
we got our hands full, but hey,
I'm trying to check her from embarrassment, and everything else, and she didn't even care. And I was looking back, what she was telling me, rewinding all this stuff in my head. She didn't really pull up. But then I guess, like I said, the way I responded, threw everything out according to what she told me. Whether it's true or not, as far as was a friend into, was an accident to walk in, or what she was a plan.
Yeah.
One thing I was told, so I was like, all right, I hear you. So I guess if I didn't mess that up, that was on me.
I mean, if you believe it, I believe it.
I believe it.
I kind of believe it, but then I ain't know it was some get back, so I was like, I don't know. But it's but outside that, I mean, that's basically it. I know this might be the only episode we don't have no dose of dopeness.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking, man. You know what? The dose of dopeness, man. It goes to us, Kwame Kasharo, Jamie Kasharo, myself. I think we don't give each other flowers. We don't give our. I mean, is not each other, but I think we haven't given this movement flowers. I want to give us flowers. I think you guys are awesome. All y'all are dope. Husbands, dads, friends. We ain't got to talk every day, but we still solidify our relationships when we do communicate. And it's crazy because we can send kites and still catch up where we left off. So peace to y'all. Peace to you guys as men, as my brothers, as black men, as dads, as husbands, and just podcast homies. So shit, y'all get flowers tonight. There it is. Yeah. So
that's what's up.
That's a way to end it off.
That's definitely
that's good. Man. I appreciate it. I think we all
right.
Well, I mean, nobody have to go after that because, like you said, hey, we can pick up any time. Like I said, it don't matter.
Right.
Casaro, where can they find us?
You guys can find us at 4x Dope Podcast on IG and Twitter. And if you want to hit us up with any emails, with feedback, you can find us at www.4timesdopepodcast.com. I'm sorry. No. You can email us at 4timesdopepodcast.
So we got a website? Oh,
at
shit.
Gmail. I was like, yeah, that's coming though. That's definitely coming. Yeah. At 4timesdopepodcast at gmail.com. And don't forget about our merchandise.
Merch.
Yes, at www.shops2c.com.
Right.
We appreciate you, Quachos, hanging out with us on episode 1 of season 3.